So welcome to Chippy. Thanks for coming to speak with us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Brianne Caplan. I'm the executive director and founder at Code Your Dreams. I'm also the CEO and founder at CoderHeroes, and I am a data scientist today and tomorrow. And then I started a new role at the University of Chicago as the program director for careers in computer science.
Cool. So besides Python, what languages do you enjoy using?
So I'm just a Python girl.
Okay.
But for teaching, I taught Python for a year. That was amazing. I love teaching with App Inventor. It's block-based coding that was created by Google and is licensed by MIT.
Great. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get started. Thank you. Thanks again.
So I will share my screen.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna add you to your screen to this. There you go.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So I'm so excited today to talk about two organizations that I'm really passionate about, and that is Code Your Dreams and CoderHeroes. So this is me. My handle for most things are Code with Brie. I'm newly on TikTok since I work with kids, and I've been trying to create mini coding lessons on TikTok. So I'll get into it. So as a woman in computer science, I often felt like coding wasn't for me. And so when I made it into my career as a data scientist, I really wanted to give back. So I started a program on the South Side with a group of girls, and there were a few things that really surprised me. One, which is probably the least surprising, is that none of my students had computer science classes at their schools. Number two was that half of my students didn't have internet access at home. And number three is that half of my students didn't have basic science teachers at their schools. So these things really shocked me. And so I started digging and researching into the inequities that exist within our education system. And what I found was that coding education access needs to improve. I know I'm preaching to the choir. So the stats are 45% of high schools don't have computer science classes, although 90% of parents want their child to learn computer science. And I'm talking to Chippy, so we know these are awesome jobs that require coding skills, pay up to $22,000 more per year on average, and programming jobs overall are growing 12% faster than the market average. So coding education is something that needs to be disruptive, and it's right to be disrupted. So I started doing my research, and there are a lot of tech programs out there, but there are three problems that I really found. One was that technology and all of its advantages are not equitably distributed. Number two is that tech programs are typically located in high socioeconomic areas, such as downtown Chicago and on the north side, leaving many communities disconnected. And the map I have here is computer science deserts in Chicago. Number three is that traditional tech programs ignore community issues and the potential for applicable impact. So when starting Code Your Dreams, our solution is focused on number one, being equity-based, number two, socioeconomic based, and number three, being community-based. So starting with equity, we provide our students with everything that they need to be creators of technology, not just consumers of technology. So within our program, we provide our students with laptops, hotspots for internet, and Android devices as they're developing mobile applications. Number two is that we're socioeconomic based. So we focus on students who need this the most, and those are low income and minority students. And number 3 is that we're community based. So too often technology is being built at communities. So instead we put the power in the hands of our students to solve problems that they experience every day with code. This comes down to every part of our curriculum. So for example, with the user research and user testing components of my students' app development, they do that user research and user testing in community spaces like neighborhood coffee shops, parks, to really test and include everyone in the community. So what is Code Your Dreams? Code Your Dreams is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to make coding for everyone. And we aim to empower youth action and youth voice with code. So we were founded in 2018. Up to now, we've served about 250 students, and we're really ready to expand past that. So what our program looks like is we're an after-school program. It runs anywhere between 12 to 16 weeks. Our students have developed over 80 mobile applications to date. These mobile applications, our students have identified over 50 communities that they'd like to impact with code, and over 100 problems my students have identified that they would like to help solve with code. This is just the overview of our curriculum, so the phases of app development that my students go through. So they start with the design thinking phase, thinking about their communities, problems that they experience in their own lives, and then they go through the app development process of each student individually coding, building, designing an app that addresses that community problem. So what's important here is that our students are exposed to all of the different career opportunities in technology, from product and project management, UI UX design, software development, and sales and marketing. And something in there really sparks an interest in every single student. So things were going great. And then COVID hit, which really threw a wrench in like everyone's lives. Schools closed, our funding needs increased, and we needed to reorganize as a nonprofit and move everything that we were doing virtually. At the same time, and since I have a day job, I had a lot of executives and parents come to me wanting for us to teach their children virtually, and hoping to do so with code. The thing was that they weren't our target demographic, but they were still people who were looking for their children to experience the world of code virtually. So that's how we came up with CoderHeroes. It's a for-profit that we introduced in May, so it's been a month. So we now have this hybrid model where CoderHeroes funds programming for Code Your Dreams. So we have this buy one, give one charitable model where parents who pay for classes and summer camps, that gives to Code Your Dreams to enable us to be a self-sustaining nonprofit. And we also have diversity scholarships up to 100% off tuition for CoderHeroes. So I will plug, if you want to spread the word about that, parents can apply for their kids at coderheroes.com/scholarships. So I really wanted to share one of the amazing first grade coders and really let her speak for herself. And I hope that me playing this video and then it'll play back correctly for you.
Category. If you know me, I like to solve problems, but the most thing that I want to solve is I want everyone in the world to be happy. So my invention was how to be kind. So it's an app. Anyone can use it because anyone could be Mac. So the most difficult part was brainstorming about how hard I made this app.
So that's a first grade student who's amazing. And I love to share that video.
The court.
Oops. So finally, I just want to ask, if you want to help, there are so many ways that you can join us. One would be volunteering with us. So we have lots of different opportunities, from curriculum development and teaching. You can email me at Brianne@codeyourdreams.org. Second is, if you work for an amazing tech company and they're looking for philanthropy partners or maybe a way to recycle old tech, definitely connect me with them. We'd love to continue working and partnering with more technology companies, as our mission really is to bridge the skills gap with the high growth technology sector for our low income and minority students. The third is spread the word. It's really helpful for us just to get the word out, especially for like fundraising purposes for us, which goes to number 4. If you are interested in donating, I have the URL below. As an organization, we don't have admin fees or salaries. It's an all volunteer organization. So that's just another way that you could contribute. And that's all I got. So thanks for everyone taking their time to listen to this. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you very much. That sounds like a really amazing program. We have a question from Ali. If what kind of apps have your students made so far, besides the one that you showed?
Yeah, so I'll give an example, because I see another question is, can I talk about some of the students who've made apps? I love giving this one example, which is a student who came into my program, and as context, the director of the community center told me ahead of time, like, if this student gives you any trouble, just send him to my office, no warning. But because he was a student who had a lot of trouble focusing in class and did not engage well with other programs, but he found a true connection with code. So the experience that he took into my program was that gun violence was something that has directly affected family members. He's seen it with his own eyes. It affects his community. And so he wanted to do something to help. So the user research that he did came to create this, the aim of the app, which was that when he walked around his community or his neighborhood, he didn't feel safe, and he knew that others didn't feel safe. So he created an all-encompassing safety app, so that if you ever feel unsafe, you can go to it. There are many features for the app. So you can click a button and it will make a loud siren noise to draw attention to you. You can upload emergency contacts, send text to automate text to your top emergency contacts, and then the location where you are. He did a bunch of research on resources, aggregated them in his app. And what's amazing is that not only is this a truly impactful app that can be used like worldwide, wherever you are when you don't feel safe, but it also, this whole experience really like transformed his life. So I love ending that story with him. He walked into my the community center's director's office, just cavelling about how much he loved this coding class. He was showing his app to the director, and he pointed to it and he said, "What is it again? Someone who codes an app, because that's what I want to do when I'm older." And I'll just say, like, that is 100% what success looks like in my eyes, in my team's eyes, is just making sure that every child knows that coding is something that can be for them, because too often we only see one face as like who is a software developer, and it's not something that seems like attainable for a lot of people.
Is there any other ways that the Chipy community, besides what you mentioned, can get involved?